Saint Sabas is known for his contributions to the development of monasticism, which is the practice of living a solitary life devoted to religious practices such as prayer and contemplation. He is considered one of the fathers of Eastern monasticism, along with Saint Anthony the Great and Saint Pachomius. Saint Sabas was born in 439 in Mutalaska, a town in the Cappadocian region of Turkey. Sabas's father was an officer in the army and was assigned a post in Alexandria. When Sabas was young, his father had to leave his home and his child in the care of his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law had no interest in taking on another mouth to feed, and there was a great quarrel between the family members over who would care for Sabas. Young Sabas was abused badly by family members. He ran away from his abusive family at the age of 8. He started living at a monastery near Mutalaska. Even though the disputes with his family eventually settled down, Sabas remained in the monastery as he loved the life of the monks. Although Sabas was the youngest person in the community, he adhered to the rule wholeheartedly. After 10 years, when Sabas was 18, he left for Jerusalem to learn from the monks who lived completely on their own in cells carved into the cliffside. These were called Eremites. Sabas asked the abbot during the time, Euthemius, for guidance to become a solitary hermit. But Euthemius judged Saba too young to live in solitude. So Sabas joined a nearby monastery led by Theoctistus. Sabas became a hard worker and helped the brothers by taking on manual labor they could not. Once, when he was accompanying a brother to Alexandria, Sabas met his father again. He tried to convince him to return to the family and join his army. When he refused, his father tried to offer him money so that he could take care of himself. Sabas accepted only 3 gold coins, which he promptly gave to the abbot upon his return. When Sabas reached the age of 30, the abbot allowed him to spend 5 days a week in a cave on his own. Sabas often said this: "Whoever sits in solitude and is quiet has escaped from 3 wars, those of hearing, speaking, and seeing. Then there is only one war left in which to fight, and that is the battle for your own heart." When the abbot Euthemius died, Sabas moved farther into the desert near Jericho. There, he lived for several years in a cave near the brook Cedron. The only way to reach his remote cave home was by a rope. Many men flocked to Sabas, wanting to join him in his life of prayer and solitude. Soon, 150 disciples were living in his community, all practicing solitude. The local bishop, seeing that there was no priest to serve these men, ordained Sabas in 491. Sabas was 53 years old. As the years passed, he was in charge of 7 monasteries, but his influence was not limited to Palestine. While functioning as abbot among a large community of monks, he always felt the calling to live the life of a hermit. One day, Sabas went into the desert to find a cave to pray in. The one he chose was actually a lion's den, and Sabas encountered the lion around midnight. When the lion saw Sabas, he dragged him out of the cave by the hem of his garment, but Sabas wasn't afraid. Undeterred, he recited the book of Psalms to the lion and reminded the lion that the cave was big enough for two. The lion heard Sabas's words and left the cave, not bothering Sabas again. When later the local thieves came across Sabas in his cave, his holy example persuaded them to leave behind their life of sin and embrace a penitential life. Throughout each year, consistently in Lent, he left his monks for long periods of time, living only on herbs and water. Over the years, Sabas traveled throughout Palestine, preaching the true faith and successfully bringing back many to the church. At the age of 91, in response to a plea from the Patriarch of Jerusalem, Sabas undertook a journey to Constantinople in conjunction with the Samaritan revolt and its violent repression. He fell ill and soon after his return died at the monastery at Mar Saba. Today, the monastery is still inhabited by monks of the Eastern Orthodox Church, and Sabas is regarded as one of the most noteworthy figures of early monasticism. Saint Sabas, brave abbot who fearlessly slept with lions and cared for the monastic communities of the church, pray for us.